Today, Amazon CEO, that's Jeff Bezos, officially steps aside as head of the company that he founded exactly 27 years ago. Here's a look back at his 60 Minutes interview with the late Bob Simon. This was in 1999.
The way I made the decision to leave Wall Street and do this was, it'll sound geeky to you, but it was a regret minimization framework. So this is how I actually made the decision.
If I understand it, if I can translate that into English I can deal with, does that mean I want to live my life so that in a few decades from now I'm not going to regret it?
That's exactly right. I want to have lived my life in such a way that when I'm 80 years old, I've minimized the number of regrets that I have. And I think actually a lot of people do that. I think even if they don't, call it something as dorky as regret minimization framework, they behave that way anyway. They think that way.
But for you, it was not carpe diem. It was not wine, women, and song.
No. I don't go in for carpe diem. I go in for regret minimization framework.
Jeff Bezos looks a little different, huh? But his laugh is still the same. He will remain as executive chairman. He's handing over the CEO reins to Andy Jassy, the founder of Amazon's successful cloud computing division. Amazon is now one of the world's largest and most valuable companies, valued at $1.7 trillion with a T. Bezos is the world's wealthiest person, worth more than $200 billion with a B. That's according to Forbes magazine.
Thank you for pointing those T's and T's
Yes.
out. But amid all that success, the company has often been accused of poor working conditions at warehouses around the country. And federal regulators are scrutinizing the company for alleged anti-competitive business practices. Amazon says it invested more than $1 billion in new worker safety programs in 2020 and said in part, quote, "While any incident is one too many, we are continuously learning and seeing improvements." We're joined now by Brad Stone, author of Amazon Unbound, Jeff Bezos, and the Invention of a Global Empire. It's published by Simon & Schuster, a division of Viacom CBS. He's also the senior executive editor for global technology at Bloomberg News. Brad, good morning to you.
Hi, Jamie. Good morning.
I want to ask you about Jeff Bezos and his run as CEO, but I want to start with something you recently said. You said the hard work now that Jeff Bezos is stepping down is really going to fall on his colleagues, saying that it's about finding Amazon's heart. Can you explain that?
Sure. Amazon employs 1.3 million people, and folks who pay attention to the news recognize that the depiction of Amazon's relationship with its employees hasn't always been that flattering, particularly the workers in the warehouses. Now, recently, Amazon did something startling. It added 2 principles to its kind of sacrosanct leadership values. You can see them on the website. And one was strive to be Earth's best employer, and another was success and scale bring broad responsibility. The company is basically saying it needs to treat employees with more empathy and consider social responsibility and what it does. And it is kind of remarkable because for 27 years, Bezos ran the company with one thing in mind: customers and growth. And I think this is an indication that maybe that transactional relationship with employees is going to have to change.
It'll be interesting to watch that. Definitely change the quantity and quality of labor in this country, for sure. Can you explain why Jeff Bezos' run as CEO was so historic?
Right. I mean, this is really a moment to recognize the accomplishment. 27 years ago, he starts Amazon in the garage of a Seattle area home. Ironically, he has a pair of kind of book-loving anti-capitalists to help him. So imagine their surprise when Amazon starts expanding in every direction. And the company has changed how we shop, how we read, how we talk to computers with Alexa and its competitors and imitators, and how companies and universities and governments access computing resources, which is a little arcane, but this is Amazon's cloud division, Amazon Web Services. So Bezos is one of those unique CEOs who's been transformational, not just in one category, but in a number of industries. And Amazon wasn't in the lexicon 25 years ago, and today it's probably the most famous company, or at least one of them in the world.
Right. Well, the incoming CEO, Andy Jassy, he joined Amazon in 1997. You call him a Bezos disciple. How is he being groomed for this position, especially as all the eyes of the world are really going to be on him?
He was being groomed 20 years ago. He was the first so-called shadow or technical advisor whose job was basically to be Bezos' chief of staff, to follow him around, taking notes in meetings. And then he went and ran Amazon Web Services, and today that's a $50 billion a year annual revenue business, which is startling when you kind of consider it. He's on the S team, so he sat in on all the meetings. I think, you know, he'll continue Bezos's philosophy, his leadership, but he'll probably be a bit of a more empathetic leader. I'll give you one quick example. At his big Amazon Web Services conference last year, which of course was virtual, he started out by talking in his keynote about Black Lives Matter. And look, as socially aware as Jeff Bezos might be, that's really never something that he did as CEO of Amazon.
Well, we'll see if it becomes humble and more friendly at Amazon. Brad Stone, thank you so much.